Day, Lynn, as Marissa Mitchell sat down with a local film veteran who shares some tips on how to break in behind the scenes.
There's so much to see and do in the world of TV and film, and Alicia Hailey Daniels is a major force behind the camera.
My name is Alicia Daniels, and I'm originally from Bloomfield, Connecticut, but I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia. My childhood was great. In my opinion, it was amazing. I was the only child for 10 years, so you already know I can get what I want. But I was also raised by a single mother who I watched her work ethic, working 3 jobs at a time, which spilled over to me. But my village was strong, so it wasn't just my mother helping out. It was my aunt from taking me to cheerleading practices or dance class, and my great uncle who would take me to work when I needed it. I never felt like I needed anything, and my wants were also met. It's not until you go and see other stuff that you're like, oh, I'm not as privileged as I thought. I wasn't poor, but I wasn't rich. But to me, I was rich because I was rich in love. I was rich in support. I was rich in God. Church every Sunday, church every Wednesday, church Sunday night. I was so good at Bible class that I would always be like the #1 Bible study student. And funny story is my Bible teacher married me and my husband years later because I was just that person. I was just always willing to go the extra mile, do what I need to do to get what I needed to get done. From cheerleading to tennis to dance to band and even working while I was in high school. I just was a well-rounded student. It wasn't just about grades. It was about what can I do to be a well-rounded person and also being homecoming queen. So I had an amazing childhood for me, and that's just what I try to give for my kids as well. One of the things in my childhood, we had someone visit our school that was on the news, right? So I was like in kindergarten, and when she came, she was very nice, and she seemed really tall, of course, because I was young, but I was just like, oh wow, that's the lady on the news, and she is just normal like me. And you'll never guess who that was. It was Oprah's BFF, Gail. And now look at her, so I remember her from back then, being a news reporter, seeing that I can do that. And I've just always wanted to be in front of the camera or behind the camera. I just knew I wanted to do something that had an effect on people's lives. Because with our industry in the film and TV world, you have the opportunity to make someone laugh, to make someone cry. You take them out of what they're going through, and they get to become in your world. And I just wanted to be a part of that, and I just loved it.
I'm joined by Benny the Butcher.
This is D from the Projects.
Rick G.
Dr. Kelly Lucci.
Hey, what's up, Mr. D. Wilson?
It's Michelle Visa.
I'm Star Muhammad.
TJ Iceberg.
This is how I came up.
This is how I came up.
And this is how I came up.
How you doing? My name is Sam Hill, host of How I Came Up. Do you have a success story that you would like to share with the world? If so, please go to ScoBlueTV.com and submit that story. And just maybe we'll allow you to share that story with the rest of the world.
It's my duty to make sure that you understand the big picture also. The 11-year veteran of the entertainment industry graduated from Clark Atlanta University. She broke into the business as a production assistant working on music videos in Atlanta. Some of those gigs are paid, others are not.
So I am an assistant director in the Directors Guild of America. I am usually the first AD's right-hand person. I am in charge of scheduling, cast, crew. It's, as an assistant director, you're more management. Our main creative part is setting background on set. So that's what I've been doing. And I've been in the Directors Guild of America, which is a union for all directors like Spike Lee, Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg. Any movie you see, if you look at the credits and you see the ADs, they're a part of this union. I've been in the union for 12 years now. And when I got out of college, I knew I wanted to pursue this. And that was get in the industry. Don't know how, don't know what exactly, but I knew eventually I wanted to be in this industry, so I would do what I need to do, even if that means starting as an intern. So in college, my freshman year, I was at a place and it was like a restaurant, and I saw Benny Boom. Of course, I knew who that was, but I wasn't gonna just talk to Benny Boom, but he was with a Caucasian lady. So I said, well, let me talk to her. And what they were doing was auditioning girls for the Little John, To the Windows to the Wall, that song. They were auditioning. And so I told the producer, and she happened to be his producer, but I didn't know that. I just knew I wanted to express myself and say I want to work. So this was my very first ever thing in the industry. So I said, hi, I'm in college. I was a freshman and I would love to intern for you. She was like, oh yeah, we have our crew, but call this number and tell her I referred you. I didn't know she was a producer until I called the number, and they was like, oh, our producer referred you? Yeah, we can use you. You can intern. So I was like, great, I'll be there after class. So they were like, well, what's your number? You need to put your number on the radio station so people can call, like extras can call so they can get booked. But I didn't have a 404 Atlanta number at the time, so they used someone else. But I was just doing little errands, like, crafty or helping people, whatever I needed to do. Whatever they asked me to do, I was just doing. It was very simple, but it was long days. And that was like my first ever industry job, all because I took a chance on myself. And then from there, the lady that hired me, she came back into town to do like a Bow Wow and a Marion video, Let Me Hold You Down. She came and called me, and I interned, and I did a Sierra video. And then finally one day she's like, we have a PA position. And they were from LA, but they just kept my information. Like, oh, we have a paid PA position that we would like you to do for a video. I was like, paid? Like, of course, like I would have done it for free. They didn't need to know that. And this was my first paid PA gig, and I was on the music video with Nelly and Fat Joe. It was the first time I've ever had that job, and this was back in the day. Chris Robinson was the director. This was before turkey bacon and veggie sausage and all that stuff was even a thing. So one of my tasks was to find the director some veggie bacon or turkey sausage out in the middle of nowhere because no one was serving it. So I just took all the little tasks they gave me. Even from on my way there, they were like, oh, we need you to stop at Starbucks to get coffees and do this for our team. I said, okay. And I didn't realize I was going to be stopping at a Starbucks in the mall, that I had to walk with all these coffees and then put it in my car and drive by myself so it didn't spill. Like, I was so nervous. And then I thought to myself, wait, Diddy got coffees. He used to get coffees, and look at him now. Like, just do what you're asked to do and you too can get more work, because I truly believe it's small tasks done well. So from that music video, I just got more opportunities. I did like another video in Atlanta, a movie called ATL. I was helping with Chris Robinson's brother, who I had met, and I helped the casting. Then they offered me, it was like, oh, do you want to be a stand-in? I'm like, okay, I'll be a stand-in. So I stood in for the twins, Malika and Khadijah. And then one day they're like, oh, you want to be background? And I was like, oh, I don't do background. Like, not that I was, being bougie, but I had done background. I know it. And I'm like, that's not what I want to do. It's like, oh, it's only like 5 people. It'll be good. I'm so glad I did it, because who knew that it was going to be like this classic, that we watch today. But if you've seen it, you've seen at the end when Brooklyn, who got promoted to Crystal's, like a Crystal's employee, and then he tries to hug a girl, and then I push him away, and that girl was me. And that is something that I've just been doing my whole life. It's just getting in where I fit in, and not knowing that opportunity was going to lead to that, but not being afraid to take it. And that was just supposed to be us clapping, and that was it. But the actor was like, let's do this. We may get in trouble. I try to hug you, you push me away. We may get in trouble, but let's just try it. When we did it, Chris Robinson was like, that was so funny. Do it again. And until this day, it plays and plays, and people that I've never even told, some of my students, which I'll talk about that later because I teach classes, they have found it and sent me it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this will never die. Like, stuff on the internet just never dies. But what really got me to where I am now is my senior year, actually junior year, I knew I needed a job in the industry. I knew I had to have a job, and I was just searching for things online, staying up all night, very determined, found this program, but they said, oh, you can't apply to it now. You have to apply when you have to be at least 21 and you have to have a college degree. So my senior year, I applied to that program along with other programs. I didn't get the other programs. I applied to MTV summer program. I applied to an apprenticeship. I applied to all this other stuff. Didn't get it, but the Directors Guild of America training program, a training program for assistant directors. It was started from the DGA and the Producers Guild of America. They came together and said, we want to train ADs properly. So I applied for this program, and God knew what he was doing, because he didn't give me the summer programs that I thought I wanted. He didn't give me the opportunity to move to New York, even though I always knew I wanted to go to LA. He gives me a 2-year program that not only do they find me work, I'm guaranteed a certain salary, and I'm guaranteed health benefits. And in those 2 years, I become a member of the union. And this program is not just like an easy program to get into. 1,000 people applied and 14 of us were chosen. And I was one of 4 Black people. And so that right there jump-started my career. Through that program, you work on various TV shows, from Land of the Lost to I worked on ER, I worked on Criminal Minds, and they pick your projects. You can't say I want to work with my friends, or you definitely won't work on it. The whole purpose is for you to get to meet people and for people to get to meet you. And I graduated September 3rd. I still know the date, 2008. And it was like, you're done with our program. You can be an AD. And I was on a show called Greek for ABC Family. And my bosses at the time could have said, okay, we can't afford you no more because you're no longer a trainee, you're an AD. So we have to let you go. But they didn't. They said, today's her last day as a trainee, but we're going to promote her to an AD. And they gave me an AD title. And I was on that show for 2 years after my training program until it got canceled. And that just, that was just the blessing to be in that program. I can't even name all the stuff. I'm sure you're going to probably talk about this more. But from that program, I went to work on The Game in Atlanta, Read Between the Lines, House of Pain, and as a key second. And so many. Blue Medea Halloween, Cobra Kai was the key second on, which is like a reboot from The Karate Kid, and Greenleaf. Oh my gosh, there's so many, but it's just all been a blessing.
Hi, my name is Alicia Hailey Daniels, and I am the founder of the Assistant Directors Team Workshop here in Atlanta, Georgia. The Assistant Directors Team is responsible for the big picture.
More focused on my own brand. I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm also the founder of the Assistant Directors Team Workshop, which I founded in 2015, so 5 years next month. And I started this training workshop in Atlanta, Georgia, because as a second AD, I would hire PAs, but a lot of the times you can't ever hire the same person you want twice. So I'm forced to hire referrals, or what we call green PAs. And green PAs are someone that doesn't have any experience. And it's not their fault, they just don't know. But because they're green, they become more of a hindrance than a help. So it's just harder for me to, if I tell you to do something, then you ask me 10 questions after I tell you to do one thing. It's like, I just go do it. I don't have time to answer those 10 questions. Let me just go do it. If I say, go get that apple box to the DP, I don't want you looking around for a box shaped like an apple, because it's not shaped like an apple, not at all. So I started this class, and this class, it has been amazing. So I teach people what I do. Not afraid to teach people. Each one teach one. That way we can all learn. Because the only way I could do my job good is if I have people around me that not just respect me, but they know my job and they understand the struggles I go through. So they want to make my job easier. So I teach them how to create call sheets. We don't just read them, we create them. We create production reports. We go over terminology, go over all the union facts, go over like how to save money, because this is an entertainment business, but it is a business first. And I've had people travel from California. I've even had someone come from Canada, like Kentucky, all come to take my class. And I think I was nervous at first to start it. I'm like, who's gonna take my class? They don't know me. All they know is my IMDb, which is a website for industry professionals, and my resume. That's all they know. But so they still took my class. Like the first class I had 25 people. Amazing. And only one of them knew me. Everybody else was straight up internet marketing. And so I've been doing that ever since. I've just gained a lot. I've gotten people employment. I've hired some of them. I've seen them grow into other positions. So what's next for me is expanding that. Obviously with the coronavirus, we had to pause our classes just like everyone else, but it's just finding a way to brand myself more with my workshop. It's Assistant Directors Team Workshop, and I eventually want to do more public speaking, because someone inspired me, so I feel like I can inspire them also. And that's just what I want to keep looking forward to. And during this quarantine time, I also been expanding my brand budgeting and doing more UPM skills. So I am in the guild as a unit production manager. I got to get that opportunity, and I'm working towards that. And just, yes, that's great, but I know there's more for me. So just working on doing things that can ultimately build my brand up and make the Assistant Directors team even more successful than what it is. My name is Alicia Daniels, and this is how I came up.
What is your name and where are you from? Hello, my name is Sam Hill. I'm the host of How I Came Up. How I Came Up is a platform for our entrepreneurs and professionals to share their successes and their struggles. And hopefully, they'll give us some tips to success. Now let's get to it. This is how I came up.